Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Spotlight Academy series. This is our insight series where we're talking to all the different coaches from the Spotlight Academy and getting a little bit closer to all the great stuff that they do with the talent from across the island, across British Columbia and Canada. And today's a really special interview because we're actually talking to the founder, the owner of Spotlight Academy. This is a lady who needs no introduction, but I will give her one anyway. She has been in this business successfully for a very long time. She has been on all sides of the camera, in and all around it. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacqui Kaese. Hi, Jacqui.
Hi, how are you, Chris?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for letting me have this conversation with you. I love doing this. You've got a really special school, and I've been really lucky to be connecting with all of your different coaches over the last little while. And it's such an eclectic mix of acting teachers. Maybe take me back for someone who's just jumping in and getting to know Spotlight. I would say, well, the first thing you got to do is you got to start with Jacqui.
Mhm.
How did Spotlight come to be? What does it mean to you? What does it represent in terms of its origin and its history?
Well, it means everything to me, based upon geography. I moved from the UK, and my husband and I, he owns a golf course over here. I couldn't golf worth shit. So I went back to my roots, and to cut a long story short, I got an agent based upon my theatrical training. And then landed 9 days on a movie a long, long time ago now. Used that credit to join the union, and then opened Spotlight. And how I opened Spotlight um, was I got the .com address, which was a big deal back in the day.
Sure. What? Oh,
To
yeah,
get
I can
a
remember.
to get a .com a website address. Um, I put it online. I knew what I wanted to do. And then I set about finding the instructors over the years. And I actually went to some of Bart Anderson's classes to begin with when I first moved from England. And he was a young whippersnapper himself then. And I just remember falling in love with Bart's teaching and feeling that my philosophy was exactly the same. So I invited him over. We did a few workshops, and the rest is history. Here we are, more or less 27, 28 years later, going to be approaching our 30th anniversary. And Bart's still with us. So
Yeah.
and we have a whole host of other instructors now that are from the island and are online and teach for Spotlight. So historically, it's been wonderful when a lot of people have said, how can you work from Vancouver Island? It's remote, but we proved that we can, and we proved that actors are successful because
And
um,
doing great work virtually too, no matter where you are. Like I've
totally,
seen just some incredible work. It makes me even
totally.
wonder if you have to really truly be able to, touch to do such great work now. Maybe it's not surprising. We live in a world of screens. The storytelling, as you talk about, everything that it represents ultimately has to play out on a screen, right? Um,
Totally. Yeah.
Maybe it's
We
not
saw it, we saw
surprising.
that change. We saw that change with the introduction of cell phones, and
Mhm.
we even more, we've seen that even more with now the availability and accessibility of being able to Zoom audition, so directors, producers, casting directors, agents, we can run our businesses from these screens now, which makes it more accessible to people who live in remote areas that have the right and have the talent that are now working in the industry. Whereas when I first started, that was tougher to do, and these days it's now easy to do because of these screens.
Well said. Now, tell me too, when you think about the kind of work that you're doing with actors from all over, across your different coaches and classes and one-on-ones, where do you stand on this pivotal question that everyone kind of wonders as they break into this industry? Are the great actors born or are they made?
I honestly think that's a combination of both for me.
Yeah.
Um, I think that skills are taught. But I also think that some people are gifted with natural talent.
Yeah.
Some people are gifted with natural talent, but then don't work at it and can fall by the wayside for the simplest of things. Other people are not born with natural talent, but they learn skills and they have a specific look. They have a character look that is desirable within the industry. And you teach them the skills, and then they can work successfully in the industry as well. So I believe that there's a place for everybody. If you're born with it, you're very lucky. Don't take it for granted and
That's
don't let
right.
your ego walk in the room before you do. And if you are prepared to work hard and take on board these skills, then there's a place for you too. So,
And I
because
mean, you've had actors. I've seen, the Academy has typically at Spotlight welcomed actors from all experience levels. I've seen you do incredible things at your school there with actors who were brand new, and I can't believe, within a minute. So you really don't discriminate in terms of what you would say to any actor coming to Spotlight is dive right in. There's a class level for you, right?
totally, yes. Even more so for people that are, feel marginalized. Um, because the industry is changing, the industry is evolving, and I'm proud that I've been a part of that, that I've seen the industry change and seen the industry, evolve in the way that it has. When I first moved, there was never a place for a British accent. Actually, in one of the movies I was on, they brought in a coach.
Hmm.
Um, to train me how to speak with a British accent, which the coach apologized. Um, but yeah, it's these days the diversity that we're experiencing is embracing everybody, which is phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
way that it should be.
And tell me, Jacqui, you are an award-winning casting director. You've come at this industry from lots of sides, but you have a casting background as well, and
Mhm.
you've done some really, really great things there. Um, it's 2024,
Yes.
and the Oscars has just announced finally they're going to be acknowledging casting with an award of their own. Something that you and casting directors around the world have been fighting for years. Are you surprised it took this long? Do you even care anymore? What does this mean to you as someone who has worked so hard in casting over the years?
Well, it means to me that, the very next stage of that should be that the stuntmen should be recognized. These are the people that are risking their lives day in, day out. There are categories that have been missed along the way simply because of the hierarchy.
Mhm.
Won't get into the politics of that. But now we have to be more open-minded and more embracing. We've seen so many actors fight for the rights, over the years for recognition for marginalized people and be BIPOC, that we're seeing it happen. It's like I said, it's evolving right under our eyes. So yes, I'm delighted. I don't think I'll ever I don't think I'll ever share that stage. It would be a dream of mine, but it's certainly good to see some of my students that have
Yeah,
been on that stage sharing, though, the limelight and sharing the spotlight, as you were, pardon the pun. And casting directors getting the invitation, casting directors that are working in Vancouver that are previous students of mine that are now receiving these awards, not necessarily the Oscars, but it's a step forward and closer to the Oscars. So,
right.
yeah, I had Chris Wozniacki over, who was a Spotlight student last weekend. And he's traveling to LA
Right.
within the next couple of weeks because him and his partner Kara Eid are nominated. So
That's
um,
exciting.
oh, so exciting.
That's really exciting. And do you think, did your experience in casting really inform that other side for you on the teaching and the coaching side? Like, would you, maybe what I'm asking is, did your experience in your time and still in casting, did it impact the way you looked for the types of teachers and coaches you bring into Spotlight?
Absolutely.
It must
Yeah.
have really refined your eye, if that makes sense.
Yes. And I think that the caliber of teacher that teaches and coaches for Spotlight now, it's the reason why we have an edge. because I keep a close eye on what we teach, how we communicate it. And then I keep an even closer eye on the development of that of talent, so that we can, hook them up, connect them with the right agent. And then I still coach when a big opportunity comes up, um, simply because I've had a history of that all the way through my career,
Yeah.
coaching, the right people for the right job, and um, experiencing the joy of them landing those big jobs too. So I don't feel that there are many coaches, with all due respect to my peers, but I don't think that there are many coaches that can say that they've worked opposite some of the A-listers that I have with my students. Um, Simply because I just feel that my eye, not that it's any better.
I
Um,
don't know. You're pretty good, Jackie. I mean, I know you're being a little humble there, but let me mention to people watching to go check out the work you've done on IMDb. Your list of film credits and the projects that you've been a part of are incredible. Your students have worked with some of the biggest names in Hollywood. They've worked with Nicole Kidman. They've worked with De Niro, Matt Damon, Nick Cage, Scarlett, Tom Cruise.
True.
That list goes on. That's a really big deal, and for you to have the ability to catch the kind of talent that's going to be able to keep up with actors at that level, you clearly take the work really seriously. Does it surprise you anymore when an actor walks in before they have said even a word, where they end up? Like, have you gotten so good now, even a look or body language can communicate it, or do you need more time to inform your decision about an actor and where they are? How quickly can you do it?
I can pretty much do it on first impressions.
I'll bet you can.
Yeah, I get a good, I mean, one of the courses that I did in the UK years and years ago, which has always served me so well, it boils back down to the age-old Victorian etiquette course. It's
Mm.
the body language, it's how somebody carries themselves, it's the confidence, it's the lack of ego, it, I can read somebody within the first 5 minutes. So I'm able to spot within a group somebody that has the capacity to be great, you know, on their first interview, and then especially within their first read. And that's how I can tell that somebody is really listening, that somebody is really getting what is going on. A lot of that we talked about can be natural, but I actually like raw. I love that raw essence, that somebody that can bring, that isn't over polished, right?
Yeah.
Because no life is a 10 out of 10 on any given day. We're lucky if we reach 6.5 to 7. Christmas Day, birthdays, any lives that we live, any life experience that we can go, oh my God, that day was a 10. They're very few and far between, because life touches us in so many different ways. So for an actor trying to achieve 10 out of 10, when I coach the kids sometimes and I say, so how did that go for you? That was a 10 out of 10 for me. It kind of makes me smile, because when they're young, and they haven't been touched by the things that can go wrong in life, and then when we're older and we start realizing that life isn't 10 out of 10, and we start to really delve into these characters that are complicated and flawed and scarred and vulnerable and just beautiful and magical, then all of those things, I like to keep it raw. I like that
Yeah.
energy to be kept raw, because it's that raw energy sometimes that the most creative of directors are looking for, the people that are the most open, that can really absorb all of this and take it in and be flawed and be open and be vulnerable. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm passionate about, is
Clearly, I love
but
when you
I'm
talk
not
about it,
saying
it makes me wish I was an actor.
well, that was my dream too. And unfortunately, like a lot of people that work in casting or coaching, you know, um, we come with so much judgment that it's, yeah, that's our job
Critical
is,
thinking, I call it.
yes,
Critical
yeah.
thinking.
So, and then there's two, thoughts on that. One is the actor that, comes with a concrete sequential choice, And then you have an actor that comes with an abstract random choice. And 9 times out of 10, I like the abstract random choice
Sure.
because I can really mold and work with that. But when I'm working with an actor that's totally concrete, sequential, and has all of their backstory and their, their script analysis and their character analysis, and they can't deviate from where their thought process has happened with that concrete sequential thinking. So yeah, there's two kinds of people in the world. They are concrete, sequential, or abstract random. Most artists are abstract random,
Yeah.
but the artist that comes with the abstract random point of view and openness, for me, are the ones that are going to achieve greatness, because they just come totally, mentally naked to the stage or to the camera. And then they say, do what you want with me. I am yours. And I'm like, oh my God.
What a
This,
playground, right? A creative playground.
yes, totally. Yeah.
Do you feel like in on the spirit of that vein, what is the experience going to be like for an actor who comes through your school? How will they be transformed? Is it up to them? Are there certain things that feel really staunchly must happen in their time at Spotlight, so that as they come out of that academy, they'll be transformed? I hear great feedback from so many of your clients. I wondered, if is there anything in your special sauce that you think you do uniquely there?
I've got to be honest and say that some things get missed, because none of us can touch on everything all of the time.
Sure,
Every
of course,
instructor
of course.
brings something very different to the table. I think the special sauce is the combination of instructors that are put together.
Mhm.
In the journey, in making that journey unique, and then tailoring that journey through career consultation and me mentoring those people that I really feel have what it takes. I kind of take them, put them under my wing, and then guide them through. So I think that my relationship with them is the icing on the cake. You call it special sauce, which is a great way of putting it. But I think that the combination of the instructors and then those that come to me and say, hey, I really trust you. I really want your guidance. Can you help me through this? And then I find the right agent to then take them to the next level. And then they come back to me for coaching. And most of the agents that I work with will actually message me and say, can you work with this guy or this person on this thing, or this person needs a little bit of extra attention with this, or this, can I talk to you about this callback or this audition? And I think that's what I love the most, because I think it then takes the village. It takes the coach that they're working with, me
Yeah.
to put the sauce on the top, the agent that is going to submit them for the right thing and believe in them, and then the casting director or the director that then sees that magic that's all come together in that moment.
Yeah, and I feel like, having met all of your different coaches and having known you for many years and working closely with you as an agent myself, I know other agents I connect with, our eyes light up when we see they've been through Spotlight. We
Mm,
know it's comprehensive. We know that they're being touched on by more than just one, coach's perspective. There's something bigger at play, and of course, that overarching, shadow that you cast over the entire thing, of their enthusiasm for that, and there's a
right.
professionalism. I wish that we would see that. I don't see. I should be careful how I say this. I don't see that everywhere else, and I think
No.
that's what's really exciting. And it's coming out of the island, right? It's not even right
Yes.
here in the heart of Hollywood North. You guys are doing something really magic there. Talk to me a little bit about how Spotlight is going on this year. You're available always on Zoom, but you're also available in person. Do your coaches have a preference? Is it just whatever your actor clients want to do? How do you decide?
It's whatever the actor clients want to do, but now we're back in person post COVID. We're grateful for that. There is no substitute really for the human connection. We know we're moving into a future of AI, and that makes a lot of things uncertain. But there is no substitute for the human connection. And so I try to persuade everybody I can to work one-on-one in the room. First of all, in a class situation, or when we're doing self-tapes or whatever, just so that we don't forget how to interact when we get to set, because it's great for all of this to be online and it's great to be cast from an online audition. But at the end of the day, we're still on set, working with the director, working with the crew, working with every department that is going to take a piece of us. And what I worry about with the transition of what we've seen of late is that, you know, when we get to set, we're going to lose a little bit of that. And so I do encourage everybody at some point in their careers to actually get in the room
Yeah.
with their instructors. It's still vitally important for
Yes.
set etiquette when we get on set, right?
Yeah.
And continuity is something, you know, all of these audition coaching and scene studies and everything else that we do. You know, but one of the things that I tend to delve in personally is continuity, is how to achieve continuity on set and still maintain all of the other things that you've got to maintain. You know, so a lot of people out there that are coaches don't have set experience.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it. They're great coaches, but they don't have set experience. They haven't been
There's
on
no
set.
substitute for that. There really isn't.
Right. So
Yeah.
when I say to people, go on the IMDb, check everybody out, make sure that they've had their time working as an actor, they've had their time on set. I've worked on set with my students on some of the biggest sets, Silver Cup Studio in New
Yeah.
York. You know, so as a coach, I have that set experience. I know, and I'm still immensely connected with set life because of casting now. And I make it my, you know, personal mandate to visit sets when my students are cast, or when I've cast certain projects, then I will ask for permission to visit set, just to keep my hand in and to stay current in the industry.
Well, I really, commend you guys for it, and I think you're clearly doing something right because so many actors that we talk to are just they love what the time they've had with you there, or they go back because something big's come up and they want to have that preparation, they want to be better, they want to leverage that experience you talk about so much. Before we wrap, any final thoughts you want to leave with the actors out there that are considering Spotlight Academy or looking for the right place to go and hone their craft and work on their instrument? Anything you'd like to leave them with?
Well, you know, I always say do your research. And do your research by, you know, looking at the IMDb, looking at Google reviews, talking to people within the industry about their experience. But leave no stone unturned. And by that, I mean that if you're even considering Spotlight, text me. Like, text me, connect with me. I'm always available. I'm always available to answer a question. You can go on our website. I even offer, you know, a free 15-minute consultation to anybody for free that wants to just ask a basic question. You know, even if
That's amazing.
they've had this string that's been calling them forever, and you know they've like, oh no, I'll never be able to do that, I don't know, it won't work, I shouldn't do this. And then finally something clicks and they're like, I've got to do this now before it's too late. So don't be afraid to ask me those questions. Come to me, text me, phone me, message me, email me, and let's talk. Let's see if Spotlight's right for you. And I can pretty much guarantee that in order to find what you need in the industry, you don't always need to go to the big schools in the mainland or in LA, or you know, we're right here. The difference is with us, I believe it's just more personalized and it's more tailor-made. And it's just more user friendly because we care. I care deeply.
I know you do. I know that's an understatement, and it radiates through all the people that work at Spotlight and the talent that comes out of there. So, congratulations and congratulations on, finally coming out of the strike and the industry's roaring back, and everybody seems to be feeling that excitement from it. And I meet so many of your talent that's coming out of the academy. So congratulations and thanks for your
Oh,
time,
thanks,
Jacqui.
Chris. I've done a few auditions this week, and they've all been for leads. So
Wow.
yeah, we're back,
Yeah, we are.
and it's exciting. And I'm also, you know, casting on 2 movies that are filming in Victoria for background, because that's what we're doing in Victoria. But we're working.
Yeah.
and, more is coming down the pipe. So we're very
That
lucky.
Jacqui Kaese, everyone, the founder and the owner of Spotlight Academy, one of our industry's proudest icons out here on the West Coast and across Canada, a real veteran of the trade and someone I love talking to whenever I can. It's so nice to see you, Jacqui. We'll talk again soon. Thanks for your time.
Lovely to see you too. Take care, Chris.
Bye bye.
Bye.